Blog Talk Radio.
All right. Excuse me. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the true Creator, to the Ancient of Days, to our Father. Well, here we are again, just like that. Can you feel it? Can we see what's really going on in this world today? Are we tired yet? Have we seen the awakening that has come upon the people 7 years, almost 7 years, to our awakening, that they are finally waking up to realize the errors of this world? Can we feel it? Can we see it? Can we touch it? Can we taste it? Can we understand it? Can we understand it? Can we overstand it? What is it? It's our redemption. It's a beautiful thing. You know, we have, when we woke up and was very excited from a daze, from a sleep, from a drug-induced coma. We woke up, we shook off the dust, and stood up, and we were excited to finally be alive again. And as we have stood up and found the beauty in our awakening, the others are standing up, waking up, and starting to understand the fear of their convictions. And is it rightfully so that we are excited about it? Is it? I'd say no, yet at the same time, that really doesn't have anything to do with us and how we feel. Can we have empathy for them? Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be a testament for us to have had the empathy of not wanting them to pay a hefty price, yet understanding that the price will have to be paid nonetheless. Ish has really run afoul of the world, as we see. And we see Bidens and we see Trumps still. It's as if they have nothing else to give. Like no one else is worth a cuss. There's nobody else in this world that can stand up and lead these people, which is fitting because at the end of the day, the leader has changed. Our exchange of situation is here. You know, we have come to the point where we have come to the point of no return for us to be in the light and the glory of our Father. That's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing. Yet, at the same time, about all the amazingness of all these things that are occurring, there's a solemnness to it as well. But that's for another day. Tonight, though, we have a treat where I have been asking for folks to call in and have conversations. And one of my brethren has reached out and said so and said he wanted to. So we're going to have a conversation. We're going to chop it up Israelite style. We're going to chop it up Spiritualite style. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can't pull him in. Let's see here.
Yes.
Shalom. Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. Shalom.
All right. Shalom to you and to the brothers and sisters out there.
Yes. Hold on. Let me pull my mic, my volume up. So, like I was saying, brother, we have. Can you feel it? Can you feel the change, the exchange of situation? You know, this thing that has occurred in October was October 15th. During a month ago, has really changed the game. It's been a game changer. We're starting to see that people have come to a nuanced understanding of what's really going on and who's pulling the strings. You know, and not only who's pulling the strings, who's the people. Everyone's about to come to that realization, and it's not going to be nice for a lot of them. What you think about that?
Our fathers have inherited lies. They have inherited lies. Oh my God!
These are the niggas that we've had in division, the proverb of reproach. These are them. You know,
that's right. Well, you know, that change of situation been going on for a little while now, and there's, I guess, you know, we maybe watch it through a bigger lens through the social media and the news, but if you pay attention to your own surrounding, you can see that the change of situation is here, man. It's not coming, it's here. It's definitely here, and I can see it in the way how people deal with me, how they talk to me, opportunities that have never come up before, all of a sudden, just through conversation and through acts and deeds, they're just like, yeah, I like you. I don't know why, you know, and they just change it. They really change it.
Yeah.
Also, you can see it in their. Okay, so let me tell the people, I'm a plants repair technician. So I'm in a industry where I get to go into people's homes and see how they live and stuff that happens to them. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Ish and them folks, when I walk into their house, I remember was it last year or the year before where we started learning about the Zohar and that type of teaching. So I go into Ish's house and I'd say, listen, do you have a Zohar? Extra one just kicking around that you might want to donate to me? And I'm telling you, the faces, they just dropped. I remember one old man, he went ghostly white. And it was funny. He said, no. And then he started talking Yiddish to his wife. And then he was happy to see me go. I'll just tell you that much. And you can see it in the community. Especially, so I'm up here in Canada, right? And in Ottawa, Montreal area. And I don't know if people seen it on TV, but just a few days ago, they had shot up, what do you call it there? Not a mosque. Why am I thinking a mosque? But synagogue.
What, a synagogue?
Yeah, they shot up the synagogue, man. Molotov cocktail and everything. And they went back. They were so brazen. They did it one night, and then they went back again the next night. And the look on their faces, you could tell these people scared, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. No rest. No rest. And when you look at Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy 28, you're going to start to see how a lot of those things are starting to happen to them. You know, the same things that they had done, the same things that happened to us is going to start happening to them. And that's the exchange of situation. However, what they fear the most is how we will react to them. And we at this time, like the deal is, we're indifferent to them. They really, truly, the world is truly of no consequence to us, because our vision, our sight, our psyche, our thoughts, our prayers, our energies, our frequencies is poised
elevated
for the kingdom to come. So we don't really care about, yes, we want them to acknowledge what they've done. And that's not for us. That's for them. Because the sooner they acknowledge it, the sooner they can take their punishment and they can move forward. But they won't do it, and it's gonna be hard on them. It's ridiculous.
Hard. You know, when we talk about the cups of dregs, when you take that, when that cup comes around to your face and you smell it, and you're like, oh, I don't want that, and it's like, yo, you got to drink up, buddy, drink up. You ain't got no choice, drink. And then it touches their lips, and it's so bitter, and it's so vile. And then the first sip, they throw up. But they're like, okay, I'm done. No, you're not done yet. You got a whole lot more coming. And they just drinking, and they trying everything to squeam and squirm out of it, but it's going down the hatch, buddy. You're gonna have to drink, and that's gonna be hard. That's a hard one, because I'm thinking about what we have just come out of, and we're actually looking at our former reflection of who we used to be, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at them. We're reflecting the light, and they're seeing what they should have done. And that's why there'll be that gnashing and groaning of teeth, and dropping on the floor, and twerking and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, throwing that temper tantrum, because that's it. Because you don't want to take it, but you're gonna take it. No matter what, you're gonna have to drink, and that drink is gonna be a hard one to swallow. And you're just and it's going to keep coming round after round after round. After you thought you got through that shot, you got another one coming.
Yeah. It reminds me, when you were talking, it reminded me of when I was a kid, and my mom, and I was sick, and my mom had me take cod liver oil, and I just couldn't. It was the nastiest stuff, but she forced it. She kept putting it. I had to drink. I had to take it, you know, and whether it helped, which I'm sure it did, you know, I got through it. It's the same as these folks. These folks are going to have to get through it. And the only way that they're going to get through it is by drinking. And, you know, this is something that they're not going to have a choice like that. That's what they keep failing to realize, you know, I'm looking at how these people are rolling and what they're saying and how they're looking, you know, on all, you know, TikTok. The government, of course, the leaders don't want nobody on TikTok, because the Chinese were like, yo, we ain't selling it to you, and we're going to leave it open for everybody to see. And now everybody's a journalist, and everybody can speak their opinion. See, that's what I was saying even before the eclipse. I said, you know, our free will is back. Like, we are able now to have our free will, and within that free will, it is we're able to have an opinion. We're able now to ascertain what we want, how we see things, and this is something that they never. I'll say it like this: this is the thing that this was the agenda against us. Keep them away from the table. Make their opinions not matter. You know. Here's the deal. All of that has happened. And we're not living in what was. We're living in what is, so that we can move forward to what will be. And they have been living in what will be and what is, never living in what was. So it's fitting that at the end, they will have to live and relive and live again what was. And that's a problem to them. Like, for us, we've lived that. We've been through that. You know, our DNA is there, is seared with that. Our parents, our grandparents, you know. Now we could, you know, and it was tough for us. We really didn't even want to live in the what is. You know, we didn't even want to live in what is. It was terrible for us. It wasn't good. It wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. Yes, some of us did have some of that fun and excitement, but it always came at a cost to us. And we were always the people that had to live in the what will be, you know. And now that we're able to now live in the what is, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And they could live here with us, but they have to acknowledge the what was. And that's something that's good. That's what the whole thing is written about. The nations will not live in the what was, because they have done some very, 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 very evil things. And they don't want to relive that. They want us all to forgive and forget, And,
no, they
and
just
that's
want
just
to
how this is going to work.
about the forgiveness. They don't care about the forgiveness. They just want us to forget. And I wanted to bring it back to a point that you made earlier, is that the reason why they think that we're going to enact the same kind of violence and vile stuff to them, not knowing that they can't even vibrate on that level of like, hey, they'll say lip service, we should love one another, but we actually have to live that out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Practice that, right? And they're just frightened that, oh my God, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to rob us. They're going to rape us. They're going to do all sorts of vile stuff because that's what I would do.
That's what I've done because that's what we've done. It's not what I would do. They've already done it, right?
So, I mean, so with the punishment now, with that rooted in their DNA, that's why the Most High got to bring that fire, man. He got to bring that judgment. He got to beat the living crap out of them because why? They need to be refined. That's what happened to us. We have 400 years of, when you smell, I was watching this thing there on YouTube with Idris Elba about gold. And, here in Quebec, we got a big gold mine, and he was looking at the gold and the temperatures that it has to reach to break that ore, to refine it, to get it to that nice yellow brick. It takes a lot of heat, man, and a lot of pressure for it to get to that point. And that's exactly what's coming for these people. That's exactly what we had to go through, right? That 400 years of heavy bondage and burden, that was our refinement, putting into the fire and coming on the other side more valuable than gold. This is it. This is exactly what's going to happen, and there's no turning back. They're at their end. It's like that song from Miley Cyrus. What did she say? The world can hurt you and tear apart your heart. Things fall apart, but nothing breaks like a heart. And I'm telling you, man, when that heart done broke, man, it's over. At least smash the smithereens. But it needs to be. We'll be to help to sweep, you know what I mean? And mold you into what we need you to be in our kingdom to come.
Right. Because that's the deal. That's why this is tonight. We talking about what does a righteous kingdom mean to you? Like what does that look like to you? Because at the end of the day, we've been sitting here manifesting our redemption, of course, our understanding, of course, our culture, our heritage, our inheritance, of course, but there's going to be a point where we're going to have to, review our manifestations and start talking about the kingdom and how that looks. Because some brothers would think that, oh, well, you know what, I'm going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing now in the kingdom, or I'm just going to be a doctor in the kingdom, I'm going to be a lawyer in the kingdom, but really, what does a righteous kingdom look like to you?
Well, the first and foremost, it's going back to nature, right? That's what I think it is. Like we're going to go back to nature. We're going to reconnect with the earthly mother, right? She helps us. Maybe, I don't know if we're going to be in the same bodies, if we're going to be, but if everything is pretty much the same as we see it now, I believe that we would be going back to nature, going back to the first job of Adam, taking care of the earth.
Yeah, the creation, right?
Exactly. Just being a steward of creation, right? Connecting back to the trees, being able to talk to the animals. I mean, that would be amazing, right? Being able to talk to the birds. Hey, can you fly up there, tell me where's the best place to grab the mangoes right now. What's the ripest spot, or where is this? Oh, just go a little bit away, cut across the. That's where it's at. You're like, yeah, all right, thanks, brother. I see you. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's what I would envision for myself, because I love animals and I like being in nature. And just getting back to that calmness. And if I want to put a visualization out there, it's like that Avatar movie when they were connected to everything, right? Being connected to the mother, being connected back to the father, where they call the tree Awa or Yahweh. You know what I mean? They try to be slick with their wordage, but yeah, I believe it'd be something similar to that. You know, speaking about the movie, I'm thinking about where Sigourney Weaver there and the other main character, they were able to, they cleaved, right? They cleaved, and they were able to find a new body and a new home amongst the people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and you know, as far as the infrastructure goes, it will either be useful, it will either be used usefully, or it will be destroyed. And, you know, we're at this, you know, I'm watching, I work downtown, so I go downtown and I keep watching them build this stuff. You know, I keep watching them build these buildings, and I'm going, but who's going to be in these buildings? What you really doing with these buildings? And why are you spending the time and energy and money on these buildings when everybody in this country is tired? It's like all these leaders and all these, you know, it's funny, my company goes, you know, hey, you know, if you want to learn more about our PAC, you know, our lobbyists that we hold for lobbying the government to make sure that we get our things, you know, the things that we are interested in through to be heard on the Hill, you know, tune into this webinar, blah, blah, and I'm thinking to myself, what? I'm going, that's the problem. Everybody that's got enough money got a lobbyist, and that lobbyist is a liar, a cheat, a scoundrel. And they go and they hobnob with these liars, cheats, and scoundrels. And nothing gets done other than for those people who have the money. I mean, they tell us as a people, we love America. You gotta love America. Kaepernick, oh, you don't love America. But yet they take all our money and they give it to Ukraine or Ish or whoever else they want to. Matter of fact, their pockets. They tell us, oh, you're not good enough for universal health care. But you are, you know. They tell us that, you know, school, you got to pay for school. But you didn't. You know, like all these things, that the hypocrisy of the world is also being shown. You know, it's being shown in such a way that people are, a lot of the nations are struggling with it because on one hand, they like their, they like what they have. And then on the other hand, they feel some sort of way about it because they're not able to enjoy it anymore. So when they were able to enjoy it, everything was good. Now they get no rest. The only people that are getting rest is Jacob, his descendants. They're getting rest.
It's the attack of the Shadeen, man. It's the attack of the conscious, taking them. Sleep at nighttime. And that's the beautiful thing about, I mean, maybe I take it for granted. I'm just saying for myself, but just the peace. Just to know that, you know what? I know what's coming. Am I scared? No, I'm not scared. Am I concerned? Yes, I'm concerned because, like the scriptures say, we scarcely go make it. You know what I mean? So you try to make sure you don't step one foot on a landmine or do something, or, for lack of a better term, backslide into old habits that you used to have that you overcame, and then at the last minute that yank your card and it's like, yo, bro, you were like 2 seconds away. Why did you do that?
Right. And it's funny because that's what the scriptures say. The scriptures say that the righteous, if they go wicked at the end, then they lose their soul. They got to pay. They got to atone for that blood, right? They're going to die. And he said, but if the wicked turn righteous at the end, will they find life? They get salvation. So this whole thing is hinging. And, salvation to me, not to digress, but salvation to me is shalom. It's peace. It's what Adam was able to do when he could rest anytime that he felt like it, get up, have the little deers and the animals and everybody come over to him. He'd go eat something and keep it moving. He didn't concern himself with time. He didn't concern himself with anything other than the beauty and glory of the Father and really the majesty of the Father, where he had dominion over it to manifest things in it. That's such a beautiful, like we manifest things in this reality, but we don't have dominion over it. We manifest it for someone else to have dominion over it.
That's
and they
right.
take our dominion and then they make it, they bring devilment to the dominion. They put us in a precarious situation. What'd you say?
I said they destroy the majesty of the creation, right? Through greed, through capitalism, and guys are wicked, man. They cause it all the problem that they want to come with the solution, and the solution is even more detrimental than the problem that they caused in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. But like you were saying with Adam,
go ahead.
Like you were saying with Adam having dominion. I mean, could you imagine this? In the new kingdom, what I could imagine is that going to just walking the earth, meeting up on a bunch of our brothers from the different tribes, knowing and could you imagine all the 12 tribes, going to meet them. We're learning about, our speciality in that tribe and what we bring to the whole nation. I'm looking forward to that, man, and actually going to the festivals and relearning a lot of our lost traditions or bastardized traditions, right? Relearning those. Yeah. I mean, in our righteous society, could you imagine you have your family, you have a couple kids, you're walking through, you get to Jerusalem or wherever we're holding whatever festival at the period of time, and then you get to the gates and you're there with your wife and your couple kids, and maybe you have a son or a daughter that's in their adolescence or teenage, and maybe the festival lasts for 2 weeks. You might not see your kid for 5 days, but you clearly know that you don't have to worry because and amongst our people of righteousness, somebody's going to feed them. They're going to be okay. Nobody's going to trouble them.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about. It's going to go back to our village, our mindset, the communal understanding, the natural communion of things where there's no fear of somebody doing you wrong. Being able to hang out and have meaningful conversations, universal meaningful conversations with brothers and sisters alike, instead of thinking on it, having lasciviousness or debauchery thoughts, and I'm ready to be completely purified. Like I want this world out of me. Does that make sense? Like that's what I want. Like I want to be feng shuied from the world that I was brought up in. It's time. It's like if that can be just taken from me and I can be, purified, and I'm willing to take those. I'm willing to take that route. I'm willing to go that route to do that.
I agree with that, but I also think, and I could be wrong, I'm just with my own imagination thinking that we won't let go. Well, not let go, but we will remember a lot of this stuff because this will be our testimony to the future generations. They're going to be like, hey, you were around when they brought you up. Okay, tell me What was like before that? Could you imagine the stories and the tapestry
I don't. Maybe not. I mean, he said that there will be mavericks or rebels in the kingdom, but I think that it's just like now our kids don't. The kids now don't want nothing to do with that past. They want what we want. The righteous want. Now some of them, and they can be taught. Yeah, I feel you. I can understand. I can see that there will be a testimony of what not to do. Just like there's a testimony of what to do. But I think it's going to be etched in us because they're going to be, this next war to end all wars will be so horrible and horrific that it's going to be in people's mind what not to do. Now, people go, well, you don't got no free will. Well, we see what happened with free will when it was unchecked. I'd rather have checked free will than unchecked free will, where these fools were able to do, even our own people were able to do things that have, the proverbial evil, wicked can was kicked all the way down the road to where we are, and it's laying at our feet, and we don't want to kick it no more. We want to destroy it. You know what I'm saying? We want to recycle this and get rid of it and make it something good. And that's why we were able to wake up, because not only was it time, but not only was it time, not only was it harvest time, not only was it our season, but we were fertile. We were fertile. We had a fertile mind to accept this stuff. What other, our parents, they didn't have fertile minds to accept. They were too busy trying to earn a living, make ends meet. We came up after watching them do this, watching our grandparents do that, and we're like, we want to make ends meet, but there's got to be something more to this. We did this. We did this because the Father said it's time for us to do this. Of course, He did it through us, but, He allowed us to make this decision so that we can get through this. It's just time. It's time. I need a righteous world to live in. I'm so tired I'm tired of dumb people. I'm driving people are dumb. They're not treating people right. They don't know how to drive. They're just erratic. They're foolish. They look at you. They're on their phones. They're looking at you like, why are you looking at me while I'm on my phone? Ignorance. And I'm tired of ignorance, to be honest with you. I need some. That's why my circle is very, 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 very small. And I'm okay with that, because I get more energy out of my small circle than I have ever gotten out of a large circle. And, if it's just me, I can still get that, because I now have an understanding of spirituality to be able to link into and get energy. So I don't need much anymore. Is the deal. I don't need a whole lot. And that's just where I'm at, That's just where I'm at. I don't need a whole lot.
I'm on the same tip too. And then to highlight the other side of that, there's people that they just have to be around people all the time. They can't be by themselves. Like, I know couples like this. Like, they can't stay in the house with just the two of them. They gotta go to the restaurant with a friend. They gotta go here with the other one. They just gotta be a busybody. But when it's time to sit down quietly and reflect, I think that's also the guilty conscience, man, in these people. Because if it starts to get quiet, then the inner voice starts to pipe up, and they don't like that voice. They don't want to hear that voice. They shut it out. This is like, I don't remember what the scripture is, but something about be still and know that I'm God. I know there's a poem in Gospel of a lot of people can't sit still, man. A lot of people can't sit still and meditate, and it's just they just can't. It's very hard. I remember a guy who was tormented when I used to work out west, and we were bunking in the same place. The man had to have the TV on all the time, and I would always turn off the TV. And as soon as I turned off the TV, the man would wake up. He would go to sleep with the TV on. As soon as I turned it off, he would wake up because his mind was troubled. And this is what we're seeing with a lot of these people, what they call mental illness. Yes. The inner voice is speaking to them, and they can't manage it. It's like a ringing in their ears, and it's unsettling. Yes. It's unsettling, like the impending doom. Like as a big Judah always like to bring up Montezuma, saying that they knew these guys were coming over. So when they came, it was unsettling before they came, and when they came, it was like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. And that's what these omens are showing them. That's why, but they aren't us. They don't have the DNA, the molecular structure, spiritually or physically, to withstand the omens that's coming. That's why it's coined the destroyer of the Gentiles, because the Gentile mind can't handle shock and awe. Now they love to give shock and awe. They can do that all day. Shoot, that's easy for them. But when it occurs to them, they can't handle that. They can't handle somebody busting in their house, killing, raping, and stealing. They can't handle.
Bro, you don't have to even go that. Sorry, you don't even have to go to that extreme.
Right.
Let them have a job loss.
That's an extreme. They, if the lights go out, I mean, there's a power surge for more than a couple of hours. They losing their schnizzles. You know what I'm saying? They're just
Let
off the chain.
Some of them with the phone or social media is not working.
Yeah,
that's a death sentence to a lot of people, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my phone's not working. Charge the phone. But just the desperation and panic I see with people when they lose the phone, or they think they lose the phone, or there's no power for the phone, and they go in mental. So I'm saying to myself, well, if we're in prolonged periods of no electricity, my God, man, I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around when people lose their shit. That's the most important thing. Like, I just don't want to be around, because now they're erratic. There's no more skinning and grinning and, hey, Mom, how are you?
Right. Well, I think that they're gonna, when they're struggling, they're not going to be trying to grab a gun and all that. I think that they're gonna grab some sort of drug, like some pills or something, and they're going to just start taking themselves out, because a lot of them can't. They're not even going to be able to handle there's no more wars after this war that's coming. And the war that's coming is the Jehoshaphat war, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Judgment War. And that war is not going to be something that people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to be drafted. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my tours and I'm going to get the GI Bill. No, see, none of that's not how this is going to go down. It's going to be a complete spiritual warfare. It's similar. Oh, goodness, I can't remember the scripture, but it's the one where he said, I think it's Joseph. I can't remember. He said, go look, because they were, the Israelites were, they heard that the Gentile army was coming against them. They went and they prayed. The Father said, go to the hill, the specific hill, and watch. Don't talk, don't do nothing, stand still and just watch. And the next day, and they all got up, they went to this hill, they looked over into the valley, and the Gentiles were killing themselves. So every time I think of how the end game will play out in terms of the physical, how it will look, it's always about the Gentiles fighting themselves or the nations fighting themselves. Now, if we take that on the exoteric, then that could be them, punching each other, shooting each other, whatever. But if you take it on the esoteric, then that also is them having a mental illness and killing, literally taking themselves out, 9-8-8ing themselves. And, when I look at what's going on in the world today, there's a lot of that happening, and that goes back to when he said, to Jacob, be quiet and be still and let me do my thing, because the world is going to swear up and down that they're righteous, but their actions are never going to meet their words. And because of that, there's going to be a huge payment. Like the debt is already done. Like the debt is there. It's looming. And if you just look at how the world is, there's a huge looming debt over the Americas right now. Even South America, there's a huge looming debt. The fathers got them down in South America finding, and in Indonesia, our people in Indonesia finding pyramids. They just said they just uncovered in Indonesia what they said, the oldest pyramid in the world now is in Indonesia. But then they turned around and said, we just found the oldest civilization in the world, in the Amazon. But see, nobody's talking about the oldest mounds in the world in North America, so-called. And that's why a lot of this has to be, a lot of it has to come out, because it's too heavy a burden now for them. They're not strong enough. Their backs are old and weak and brittle. They can barely stand up and talk anymore, and they think that they're going to hold in all of this, all the things that they've done, that they're going to hold it in, and it's not. It's too heavy. The burden, the white man's burden, it's just too heavy. The pressure, yes, it's too much for them. They can't handle that.
No. It's like, when you're putting on a pot of oxtail and you put it under that pressure cooker, you don't want to open that pot for nothing until it's done.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I mean, and if that is a perfect analogy, because we're watching the pressure build on this pressure cooker that we're not going to eat. It goes back to a couple of drinks. We're not eating any of their white rice that they pressure cooking right now. We're not eating it. We matter of fact, we don't. It's not nourishing. It's not edifying us. But they're putting the pressure on it so much to keep the lid on. And the father's like, I'm about to open this lid on you all. You know that, right? They're like, no, we need Ish. Ish got to do this.
That's something that I've always, maybe you noticed it too. I know, what I was going to say is that the denial, it's so easy for them to deny, they talk about the 100-pound elephant or whatever, the elephant in the room or the 80-pound gorilla in the room, and they're so good at denying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's delusional, but it's just on I find a lot of Edomites do that. Well, I guess I'm gonna stop doing that, because there's gonna be so many different people in the kingdom and classifying them, but at the same time, I've noticed a lot of them do not like to deal with what's in front of them, or they like to go on a roundabout way, or just pretend that everything's good and everything's great. That's That's the delusional. I don't even know what else word to say, but it's something that I've seen over the years, and I'm like, it's when there's no hiding place, and you can't run into the rocks, you can't hide up underneath the covers.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to face it, and a lot of people under just that pressure alone will off themselves because they don't want to deal with what's in front of them.
That's right. That's right. And the whole point of this is a test to get you to endure and persevere through it. And a lot of people are not going to be able to persevere nor endure it because they're not built to do so. They think that they are. But they're just not built for it. There's no way. Listen, they're not even built for it when we come and say, but wait, we're the real Israelites. They're not even historically, we fit the curses of the Israelites. And they can't handle that. They lose their shit, and they turn around and they go, "Oh well, that's racist." But the irony is that we didn't create there's no racism in saying that. That's you. That's what's it called. That's their when you say something and you just say something, it's like a counter of anything. Anytime we bring up slavery, reparation. Say again.
They just want to have the last word.
Well, yeah, their last word, but they want to. Of course, it's deflecting, but they want. It's like a counter move. Anytime that we say anything about reparation, slavery, what they've done, or that we are the Israelites, the first thing that they do is say we're racist. And it's strange because the whole system has been set up by them racially. It's the most amazing thing to sit back and watch them always come at us with and that's probably why the fathers told us to be quiet, to be still, like we're not even talking to them anymore. Like these conversations that we're having is amongst us. And we're using any platform that we choose because it's our free will to do so, to have these conversations. But they intercede because they hear it and they want to come in and get involved. And it's funny because in the beginning of this awakening, we would have these conversations amongst ourselves, and they would come in like a Knights Templar trying to slash and cut us up and tell us what we don't know and we need to listen to this and we don't understand. And now it's crickets. Now the Templars are done. Their swords are very rusty. Mm-hmm. They got their armor is old and battered. They got nothing, and it's not even a fair fight anymore. That's what I keep saying. It's like they come. It's just like driving. These people can't drive, but it's not a fair fight for me to always be indignant because they're poor driving, because I have to already understand that they can't drive, right? So if I already understand it, then who's the fool if I lose my cool? I'm the fool. So the same thing with them when it comes to this awakening. We would be fools to have conversations with them about this truth that's happening to us. They would like to say, "Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys have some issues." Never forget this dude, or a couple of summers ago, this dude, we're having a conversation. I was talking to him. This was the time that the Father sent the Spirit to me and said, "No more talking to them people." That was it, and I didn't talk anymore. I'm talking to him about the pale horse, and America is in scriptures in Revelations. I'm giving him the breakdowns and the scriptures, the precepts. I'm breaking it down for him, and he looks at me and he goes, "You are perversing the word." And I said, "Perversing the word? Really?" I said, "That's it. I can no longer talk to you Gentiles because you guys you're not even at the same level that I'm at." That's when I realized that I have to have conversations with people who are on my level. And the people that are on my level are us, are Israelites, for the most part. Because there's some of us that's not, and some of them like righteous vengeance. I'm not in for salivating over the demise of these nations when they have the choice right now to do the right thing and they won't. I'm not happy for their demise. No, that's not part of my psyche. but at the same time, I'm willing to not tell them anything, to not engage with them, because it's not for me to do. This is their business. I'm done in their business. It's my business, their business, and the Most High's business. So I cut away their business, and I just deal with me and the Most High's business, and it's good. It's been great. I mean, literally, it has been excellent. When I was all involved in their business, my business, and the Most High's business, I was constantly indignant. I was always indignant. You know what I'm saying? So
I totally get it, and you're right about the levels, because again, with what I do for work, sometimes I'm moved by the Spirit to give a testimony to a Gentile. Don't know why, but I'm also very because we are a library of information. And over these last 7 years, man, we have grown by leaps and bounds. And it's only when you talk to people who haven't been touched by the Spirit, you realize how far you've come. So when I give a testimony to a Gentile, or I'm moved to give a testimony to a Gentile, I always have to cut it into like baby pieces. You know what I mean? Like cutting it up for my toddler. You know what I mean? And even then I stop a lot, because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna overwhelm you right now, and you're just gonna miss. So whenever the Holy Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and say, "Oh, listen, man, all right, just cut it short now. You're good. He got what I needed him to get. Move on. You dropped the seed. Now leave it alone."
Leave it alone.
There's so much. Yeah, but there's so much information that I could give, and I'm like, they can't manage that right now. The Holy Spirit's telling me, okay, just leave them now. You did what I needed you to do, and I'm gonna take it from here.
Right.
So, like,
and that's the Most High's business and they business. See, that's what I keep saying. Like, right, you're right. When it is called upon for us to have a conversation with them, we can have that conversation from a conspiracy theorist perspective all the way to a spiritual light perspective. And the Father gives us the utterance to know. So, like, for me, there's, I'll have conversations with some folks at work, but it's only on a conspiracy theorist perspective. I don't go as far as spiritual light, because it's not for me to do that. This is not the time. Like all we're doing now is confirming and edifying ourselves. That's it. I mean,
right.
It's
and you were
really
just
nothing new under the sun.
Time. You were just about to talk about the time, and the time is changing now.
Yep.
It's hunter mode. This is where it's going now. There's no more fishing. There's no more none of that cultivated. Now it's time for the reaping, and this is going to be something to behold.
It is. It's going to be massive.
Like, that's what I remember when it was 2020. I'm not gonna lie, best year of my life. Best year of my life. I mean, all my bills were being paid for the government. You know what I mean? I was able to read nonstop.
Yes.
For a year.
Yep.
Never had to worry. I never left the house. I got to build with my son. I got to be out in nature all the time because I had nowhere to go. You know what I mean? You couldn't go where everything was locked down.
Right.
You couldn't get all the amount of time. And I would go and tell Gentiles that was the best year of my life. And my God, some of them, they got upset. They got upset. They were like, yo, how dare you say that's the best year of it? It was so crappy for me. And I'm like, yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was. But for me, personally, like, that spurred me into a new career. But outside of that, just the time to talk and chill with the Father. And now further and further I get away from 2020, I'm nostalgic, and I'm like, my God, man, can we not just go back to that again? Because I enjoyed it. There was no running up and down.
Yeah.
The quiet. There was no hum of the city in the background with all the cars and the trucks. I mean, it was quiet, man. It was lovely. Animals were coming around. It was a beautiful time, which is setting it up for now. Which is why I always say 2020 was the best year, because I got so much edification off of that 1 year. It's unbelievable. But on the other tip, for the other ones on the other side, that was the beginning of the end, man. That was the beginning of the alcoholism, new drug addictions.
That shrink. Yeah.
And the job marriages. Businesses, a
lot of death,
Oh, yeah, man, a lot. It's unbelievable. A lot of fear.
A lot of fear. I never forget. I'm sitting here going. They say to me, to all of us, they say, hey, you got to take this thing. You got to get this Jabberjaws, and if you don't take this Jabberjaws, you could kill your family. And then they turned around and they said, if you take it, you surely won't die. And I never forget, and I'm saying it the way that, it's written in the Bible, but that's what it said when I heard them say, you can't die if you take this, but you can get sick, but you won't die. Immediately upon me hearing that, I said, oh, snap, this is about to kill a lot of people. And I said, I will never take it, because this sounds so much like the devil. It sounds so much like, hey, if you eat this, you surely won't die. Your eyes will be open. And I was thinking to myself, I'm sitting here going, at that time, my mother-in-law had passed, and we had to go to Vermont, and she passed in the fall and in the winter, because it's so cold and the ground is so hard. They don't bury anybody in the ground. So we had to wait till spring, and then COVID hit, so we had to wait till spring the following year. So that was 22, I think, 21 or 22. We finally had her funeral. And before we were able to even go up there, everybody on the wife's side was calling, talking about, did you get the vax? Did you get Jabberjaws? Because if you didn't, you surely will kill us, and you can't come. And I was like, oh my gracious. They were not only in so much fear of that, they were calling my wife and saying, let me talk to them. And I would be on the phone, and they were like, you need to take this thing. I'm telling you. And I was like, listen, I'll think about it. That's all I could say, because I didn't want to tell them where they could go, because they are family. You know what I'm saying? On the wife's side, nonetheless. But, I was just like, listen, this thing. Anyway, turns out Vermont is like, it was one of the highest dosage states, almost 100%. And I was like, man, I can't. You guys are. There's too much fear going on up in here. And I told, when we finally got up there, because I told them, yeah, whatever. We took it, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And we get up there, and the Uber dude was like, did you take it? And we had just got off the plane. I was a little tired, and I didn't really care. And the dude caught me off guard because of the way he was putting my luggage in his car, mishandling my luggage. And he said, "Did you take it?" I was like, "No, I ain't take it. What are you talking about?" And then from that point forward, he started acting a donkey, and he was like, you guys go kill everybody. You guys not, what was it? You guys are not safe or something crazy. And I was like, what? And then he put the windows down. Now, we're talking Vermont. It's cold outside. So he got the windows down. The wife's over there going, can you tell him to put the windows up? I said, man, can you put the windows up? And he was like, ugh. And I was like, man, you guys, it's too much fear going on up in this state. You guys are some scary people, scary ass people up here. What the hell's going on? So anyway, he got the red ass. He caught the red ass and decided to put us out on the side. I nearly went to blows with this dude in Vermont. Nearly had to knuckle this cat down if it wasn't for the wife. And now, mind you, I've been listening to my phone off airplane mode the entire time, and my battery was almost depleted. So I had and the wife was like, don't fight him. I was like, all right, I ain't gonna fight him. I'm not, because I'm gonna end up choking him out. And the father said, stop, get on your phone and call the other lift. And I was like, but Father, I ain't got no juice. And this dude left me on the side of the front. I'm over here losing it. And he said, be quiet and call Lyft. So I said, okay, let me get on my phone. And I had enough juice on it to put my credit card in the Lyft app that I had to get a Lyft driver over. As soon as the Lyft driver got there, my phone died. So I was like, okay, Father, I hear you. Let me just calm my nerves. And I did, but.
This is the same, and I think that reflects what a lot of people, because I went through something similar with the family saying, yeah, you need to get this, you need to get that. And I mean, I even lost friends over it. You know what I mean? The people that I knew since childhood, because, yeah, you're going to kill everybody. I said, well, all right, cool. And I realized that I wasn't never going to take it anyways, because whatever I've come to realize, whatever they're telling me on TV, if they're saying go left, you're best to go right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know that they're always lying. They're liars. It's just that's what they are. It doesn't matter what they do. But similar situation happened to me. Went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, but I see that you didn't take the thing." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna do it." And he said, "Well, why are you gonna do it?" I said, "Well, it's religious reasons." Well, it's been vetted by all sorts of scientists from around the world, top doctors, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, that's all good, but I ain't taking it. And the doctor kept pressuring me, and I said, listen, but I ain't doing this, all right? It doesn't matter what you're going to say, right? And I said, people in my community, well, I wanted to say black people, but I was just trying to be correct. And I said, well, y'all never give two flin-flons about our community, so I don't know why all of a sudden now you're telling me about I need to take to save you. And you know what? The bastard came out of I don't know what was on him, but I'm pretty sure there was a spirit on him. And the spirit left for a quick second, and the man looked at me and said, Leon, well, we still need the sheeple. And he cut it right there, and then he went right back like he never said anything to me. Came right out of character and said, well, we do need the sheeple, and boom. And then he went right back into talking some jargon, and I'm like, my God, man, there was something on you, bro, why you kept pressuring me, and it left for a hot minute, told me the truth, and then let me be. And I was like, yep, okay, that's fine, I ain't doing this. Definitely not doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't go to the restaurant. I'm like, I guess I'm going to be learning to cook a lot better then, huh? Right? Or we can get in the lottery, and you can win a scholarship for school of $100,000. I'm like, well, definitely use the money, but I'm still not doing it.
If that doesn't tell the tale, I don't know what does when they start trying to tell people that they're gonna give you something to take this thing. Like what the hell? Why? People, that's why, I had to stand my ground. I got the wife to stand hers, and we're fine. And I watched a lot of people, struggle with this. And, they're still struggling. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the whole thing about the empathy. Like, I think 2020 got me, and I'll just say, like, for me, it made me have empathy for them because I knew it was a death sentence, and I watched all these people run out. And I'm sorry, not 2020. It was 2022 that I came around to my empathy. The father said, "See, they look at how they're feeling. They're not happy. How do you feel?" And I was like, "Well, I don't feel good that they're not. That they could die. They could drive. Why? Because I could be in a plane, some fool could drop dead that's flying it. I could be in a train, some fool could drop dead that's driving it. These things, I could be in my car and some fool could drop dead next to me and run me off the road. See, all these things go in my mind, and I'm going, God, I have to have empathy for them because they were in such fear, like the fear, they just reeked of fear. You know what I'm saying? It was sad, dude.
You talked about feelings and empathy, and this is where I'm not struggling, but I'm very mindful because there's a verse, I don't know if it's in the Bible, but you might know it, where it talks about how we'll be laughing at their calamity.
Yeah.
And a lot of when I watch tragedies happen right now, I'm laughing not because of the sorrow that, and the repercussions that it's going to take from a family or a person's life, but I'm like, do you see how stupid these people are? Mm-hmm. Right? Do you see the foolishness? What's going on right now that could have all been avoided? With the war that's going on over in the Middle East there, I mean, I could give two rats ass what's happening. Like, I get it. They hurting the people and the children, but I'm saying to myself, these guys have been slated to get this beat down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do? You gonna pray for them? I'm like, no. You gonna speak out against them? I'm like, no. I'm just gonna watch the show. That's all I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go back and keep working on myself. But I find myself, should I have the empathy? I do, and I don't. Do I find it funny? Yes, I do, and I don't. And it's a bit of a struggle. And I think of these things because if I'm so lucky to make it through this or what's to come and go on the other side, is that prepping me for my new position? Because right. I'm here talking to you up here in Canada. We got you down in the Carolinas. We got Big Jude out in in California, right? We got the Pat up in Chicago. We got Big Levi down in Florida.
Right.
We got brothers and sisters all over the place, and will these be our domains that we've been stationed? Were we stationed here to, when the judgment comes, it says if we find one righteous in the city, we'll spare them. Is this,
good point.
These are kind of things run through my mind, just based off of my actions and my everyday thought processes, right? Because am I going to be like, will I be a wise ruler if I'm ever so, and I'm just saying this, I'm not saying that I'm going to be that, but just putting it out there, saying that if am I going to be a wise ruler like Solomon? Am I going to be a wise ruler like Enoch? You know what I mean? Or am I going to be, not even a ruler, am I going to be a wise steward of my section? If this is my section, maybe I might go to a hotter destination, hoping.
Right.
But,
I get it.
Are we stationed here? Because a brother had talked to me a while ago, maybe about a few years back, and he said, he came up from Jamaica, and he said, well, the Most High, I'm supposed to be here. The Most High not sent me here, but this is where he wanted me to be. And I thought about that for a long time, just casually saying that. And I said, well, shit, man, is that why I'm here? Because I'm not originally from this area. Like, I was born and raised in Toronto, but I'm now living in the Ottawa, Gatineau area. And this is the nation's capital. And I would never thought in a million years I would be actually living here.
Right.
it's just food for thought for anybody out there. Like, I mean, you could be the savior of your city, or your city would not be getting it as bad because you live here. But if you end up messing up, maybe those are millions of lives on your. I mean, maybe I'm going too far with that, but yeah, these people's lives could be indirectly in your hands. You know what I mean? Because you're saving them from certain plagues that are just.
And that's a great point. I mean, at the end of the day, what we know is we have grown, we have studied and grown in this walk to be able to feel it in our bones, and no one else is doing or thinking or reading or writing or speaking what we are doing, and or very few. And to even think that this isn't going to not end well for them, it's fool's gold, because it's going to end bad for them. But do we sit back and gloat and boast over it? No, I don't think so. But there will be some that will, because it's got to happen. They've got to feel that too, like they did that. I guess my point is that it won't be me that's going to make them feel that, but there will be some brethren that are set up to make them feel that way, because they made us feel that way. I mean, they enslaved us and laughed at us and talked about it. It's like I was hearing somewhere about good morning. That was a term that was said. That was a term that was said to our people during our captivity here in America, and I'm sure everywhere, but in particular our people here in America, after after the people would rape, kill, and destroy our people, the next morning they would get up and go into the houses of our people and say, "Good morning." Is it a good morning? You see what I'm saying?
Wow, I know that before.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that they did, it's like psychologically the whole Willie Lynch thing has to come back on them. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of that's going to mental dysfunction is going to hit them so hard that it's going to be debilitating. It just will be. I mean, but I'm not going to be the guy to go run around and laugh at them as they do it. That much. Huh?
They're gonna have a Brian Wilson moment where they're just gonna stay in the bed for like 7 years or so.
7 years, right. That's right. That's exactly right. And can't get up. It's gonna be the I've fallen and I can't get up. There's gonna be all types of craziness. My thing is, I don't even want to be around them when all that's going down. I want to be somewhere, playing spades or something with my homies and chilling, learning, doing whatever I need to do to make it into the kingdom to come. I mean, at some point we got to know our tribes. We're going to have that. So now we know who we are. We're starting to understand that, but then we got to get our inheritance. We got to get our culture. We got to get our land back. There's a lot that still has to happen in and amongst these people being moved off the land, becoming the bottom, the tail. There's a lot that's going to happen. And it's like Sister Pat keeps saying, it's going to be a slow marinade. It was a slow marinade on us. Why do they get out of it with a straight wipeout? No, that's why there ain't going to be no nuclear war. They ain't getting out of it that easily. They're going to have to suffer. They're going to have to suffer.
As Grandma used to tell me, God rest her soul, suffering builds character.
That's right. It does. It really does. For those that are left, it builds character. Look at us. We suffered, and it's built our character. Like this is what it's like. We have sat here. We're sitting here. The people who were never seen, never heard, the bottom, talked about, no nation, no land, no country, no language, no God, is all of a sudden waking up, not even, forget that, all of a sudden standing up saying, hey, we the people. If it were me, I would have to take that. I would have to really entertain that. I'd be like, well, wait, what? You
only if your ego would allow you. Only if you have the ears to hear, because some people they got cotton in their ears. They can't hear nothing. They can't see. They're blind. They refuse.
Yeah, but if you look at that, if you look at all their TV shows and such, and their mystery movies, the power of deduction is strong with them. It's strong with them. but well, wait a minute. You Negroes who have been on the bottom and ain't shit, all of a sudden is saying that you guys, where did you get? The first question should be asked: why and where are you getting this information? Why are you saying this? And tell me more. But instead of those questions being arisen based on their mystery movies and all that stuff and their Sherlock Holmes, they're like, you niggas don't know what you're talking about. You people are crazy. Don't you see our people Ish over there? Now all of a sudden they looking at Ish going, but wait, Ish, why are you killing them people like that? Golly. Why you doing them like that? And Ish is like, well, we got to protect ourselves. And then we're going, well, don't we get to protect ourselves? And they're going, see, no. You just opened up Pandora's box fully, Ish. Now what we're going to do? And Ish like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do for me. I'm going to kill, steal, destroy, and murder all the way through, like my daddy did. And now the nations are going, I don't know if I want to be hanging out with Ish. And Ish is like, too late. We already own you. And now the whole world got to pay for Ish's crimes. And nobody wants to talk about it. No one want to talk about it.
It gonna come on. They gonna have to talk about it, because the more I go put something on their ass, man, and they gonna have to scratch that, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the anger that's coming. The anger that's coming, like on that clip, like I had mentioned earlier on, when I seen the clip after they done shot up the synagogue, they the look, you know, when they used to come on TV, they'd have that resolve, like, we gonna get you, we're gonna find you, we're gonna down. There's none of that, man. It's just it's gone. Like, you can tell them, you can see that they're scared and they don't believe nothing that they're saying. They're just doing it on as a reaction, or it's just a reflex reaction. That's all they're doing. They're just regurgitating the same thing, because we've done that before. But you can see that they don't even believe what they're saying. They're like, boy, we're going to have to pack up our shit, bro. I don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to have to come up out of here.
Well, and this is the kryptonite. This is Ish's kryptonite right here. It's Numbers 1 and 18. Because, see, Ish, and this is what everybody's starting to come. This is the next phase that they're going to question Ish about. Because Ish is saying they are due to what? Or rather, they are because of what? They are because of their moms. But Scripture says, this is Numbers 1 and 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upwards by their polls. So the pedigree is through the patriarchy, not the matriarchy. So where's Ish fall into that? This is why they're going to have major problems, because the things that they are saying don't fit. It just don't fit. It just does not fit. And that's Numbers 1 and 18. It's like it's kryptonite to them. That's why they don't talk about it. You know? And if you bring that up to them, they won't even have an answer for it.
You're right. I had mentioned to a gentleman the other day, and this is where I was moved to give him my testimony, and I had mentioned to him, I said, well, did you know that they were all converted? And the man's eyes popped up out of his head. He's like, really? I thought they were, and I'm like, no, they were, if you go, and I actually told him to go watch the video that you had posted on your channel with the Khazar Empire there. And his eyes, man, wide open. And I said, oh, that's what I was come here to do. And then I just shut off what I was saying, but I could see in his face, he was like, shit, man, I didn't know that. I got to go research this. This is new information to me. So right back, fathers have inherited lies. What are we gonna do?
Exactly. And I'm gonna read this Psalms 10, because this is where we at. This is where we at, and this is where the world is at. I'm gonna say it like that. Okay, this is where the world is at, because I always got to put some scripts in here. This is Psalms 10. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Wherefore doeth the wicked contend God? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Like that is just, if that's Ish, and that's the nations. Kit and caboodle.
Ain't that the truth?
The truth? And that's what we've been crying out for. That's what we've been saying. That's what we've been wanting. Like, that's how a righteous nation ushers itself in, by the Father perishing the wicked. That's the key right now. That's why we're trying to imagine a righteous world, but we're imagining it. We're imagining it from a wicked world's perspective. It is hard because we don't know what it's going to be. but we have to have it. It has to be had. Like there's no way not for the kingdom to come righteously. And I for one, just want to be on the right side of this thing because it only makes sense. Everything that I see around me is wickedness, and it's not. It's like this is something that I find very interesting. The women are not. I won't even say that. I'll say it like this: the beauty standards has changed, and it's changed in such a way that they're trying to make it. They're trying to keep it up. And it's like today I read. I'm going through my my Google feed, and it says Kim Kardashian. GQ gives Kim Kardashian Man of the Year. See, this is the confusion. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The confusion and madness of this wicked world that we have to fight through it just to try to find, just to see righteousness. To not even see it, to wish for it, to want it, to it's like pulling the curtains back. All the wickedness is the curtains, and you're pulling it back to look out your sliding door window or your sliding glass door, and you're like, is that righteousness? You know what I'm saying? Because this is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, and Bruce Jenner gets Woman of the Year. Same people, same family. Madness.
But really and truly, these guys are so wicked. You never know what they were born as, and they be doing some weird changing, right? Like they, like in Noah's day. I mean, yeah. When they brought the flood, it said it was going to be wicked. You know what I mean? And they was doing all sorts of wicked stuff, right? And that's what we're contending with right now. I mean, as much as we know, I realize that I don't know much.
I don't know nothing.
No, I don't know nothing because my time here is so short, and I'm bombarded with so many different activities just to live. To live, gotta go to work, gotta, you know what I mean? Just, the regular mundane stuff of life. And then it's just hard to concentrate on the Most High and live in a righteous world when you're just fully enveloped in it. There's probably not a time that we haven't been enveloped in it. And probably the only time we weren't was when we were really, really small because we weren't taught to love this wicked system yet.
That's right. That's true.
And it's in our infancy. But I wanna add something to your scripture this is out of the Assyrian gospel of peace, and it says the wicked burn it as fire; it shall devour the braes and the thorns; it shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. That reminds me of all the forest fires down in Australia, and that's been happening up and down the coast. And shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke through the wrath of the law. Shall the land be darkened? For this has man brought upon himself, and the people shall be as fuel of the fire, and no man shall spare his brother. Woe unto them that have kept not the holy law. Woe unto the crown of pride. And that's what's killing them. It's that pride right now, because they don't want to follow the law. They want to go up underneath their own understanding, and you're gonna wear that crown, and it's a thorny one at that. Woe unto those who lust after the things of this world, and corrupt themselves with wrongdoing. So the whole time you're trying to run down the luxury items that were born in children's blood, and all the sacrifices that they, so that they can be on top, and you want to put that on your foot and on your ass, and it's like you don't know what you're doing, but you're running these things down. And it goes on to say, who err in their vision and stumble in judgment, for they are a rebellious people, a lying people. Who does that remind you of? Rebellious and lying. Everything from on the news to the people that own these corporations, we know who they are. The synagogues of Satan. People who will not hear the law of the Lord, no matter how much you talking, and no matter how much the Holy Spirit trying to drop them a dime. Hey man, here's a seed. Why you kick it to the curb? You put acid on the lawn. When I'm trying to grow something here, and you won't listen. It's not taking.
I'm trying to just have a swim, and you're throwing acid in the pool. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's it, right? For they are a rebellious people, a lying people, people who will not hear the law of the Lord, which says to the seer, see not. I mean, and I'm going to stop right there, but it's crazy. Like, I find it crazy because as much as I'm in this walk and I read these things and we go, to me, it's still unbelievable. It's believable, but it's unbelievable. Does it make sense of what I'm saying? Like,
man, it's highly unbelievable if we weren't living in it to believe it. Indeed.
Right? Like, I mean, the change of fortune. Then I always, every time you say that in your shows, I always think of Eddie Murphy in that movie. What's it called again? Trading Places. You know, Eddie Murphy goes up, he's a bum on the street, the lowest of the low, right? They bring him in to Buddy's house. He brings all of his friends, and 2/3 come up in the place, and then he realizes, like, shit, these niggas ain't shit. They just come here to eat my food, to drink my stuff, and, I mean, I could party like this all the time, but what's the sense?
Right?
And it was the butler that brought it to his attention. And that's how I see us right now. Going like that movie is what we're living right now. I mean, to a greater or lesser degree. I mean,
we're trading places.
That's it. I would definitely like some Winthorpe money, but I'm guessing that's coming down in the end, right?
Yeah.
And I like the way that Big Judah is putting it out there in a way where he's like, I would like to have a little place down on wherever these fancy places that he likes to do his lives from. And I when he says that, I'm still like in shock and awe. Where I'm like, like shit, he's right. We could definitely move it to one of these places, but I just find it unbelievable but believable at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. Like when he said that, I said, you know what? I'm going straight to Charlotte, and I'm taking it. I'm owning all of it. It's mine. I'm here. I want it, and it's mine. And I'm going to rule it righteously. And I think that's kind of how, and I know that's crazy talk, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, there's going to have to be some sort of rulership, righteous rulership. Now, the Father's ruling righteously, but he's going to have us also in his government. That's how this works. As above, so below. There's going to be a government. The Gentiles and the nations and the heathens have bastardized the Father's government, and then again has the audacity to use scriptures about, the government, you're supposed to always listen to the kings and the government. No, nigga, we ain't supposed to listen to you. You are not righteous. And whenever they used our scriptures, I always go, it doesn't pertain to you. The scriptures were talking about a people from a righteous perspective, how it should be. But you guys took it and, of course, said it, but didn't do it. So you guys have made the scriptures unrighteous. But that was also written. Take these books and let the worthy and unworthy read them. And that's what they did. and they read them, and they were unworthy to read them, but they read them, and they bastardized it. And now here we are going, well, you bastardize the infallible word of God. That's a joke, right? Infallible? When the nation, the people who wrote the book and who owned and held the books or the scrolls, they don't even want to give credit to. But then, it's infallible because the Greeks did it. Like, come on, this doesn't even make, you can't even make this stuff up if it wasn't already made up. Like, it's just a bunch of hoopla. The Greek, who cares about the Greek? Tell me about the Hebrew. Oh, well, the Hebrew is a dead language. There's no more. Well, then why are you reading what we transliterated it into the Greek? So that means that it's not the Hebrew and it's not the original. So that means that so it means it's not the infallible word of God, right? No, it is. But the Greeks didn't get the word. What is it? Confusion. This is why we know that these people are not who they say they are. And this is how we know that the words of the Bible that they put together and the other books all are confirming what we feel, believe, see, and know. So it's a beautiful thing, this time that we're living in. It is a beautiful thing. And I for one, cannot wait for it. I can't wait for the conclusion of the matter. I can't wait.
I'm definitely with you on that one. I just would like to, I don't know what I would like. I guess what I'm saying is that I want to make sure I'm on that other side, that I make it to that other side. You know what I mean? But through this conversation, what I've come to a realization is that we are a reflection of our Father, and we are a reflection of our enemies. We are what they've always wanted to be. Mm-hmm. Did I see that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always what they wanted to be. And through us cleaning up our inside, cleaning up our just cleaning up ourselves and doing that shadow work, right? We'll be able to reflect we'll be able to reflect that light and that the Most High has always talked about. That's always talked about in the scriptures. And we'll be that mirror. We'll be that mirror where they can look and see, okay, this is what we need to towards and be more like while they're going through their purification.
Yeah, but at the same time, they got to have that. They got to see the mirror first. Like, they can't get the light. We're getting the light. Right. It's a two-way mirror. That's what I was saying a couple weeks ago. It's a two-way mirror. We've been seeing ourselves and getting ourselves straight because the Father has forced us to look at ourselves, whilst they've been able to see us but not themselves. So it's a two-way mirror. Now the Father has switched the mirror to where we get to see them and they get to see themselves. And so when it all shakes out and the Father says, okay, here I am, and we go, okay, here I am, or here we are, then they're going to look at us and be like, oh, okay, this is how, going back to your point, this is what we have to be like. Because right now they can't they got to first look at the mirror. They too busy trying not to look at the mirror. They don't want to look in that mirror that they're about to be forced to look at. That's what this is. And even the echo, the Father's echo has been echoing since the beginning. And they've sat around, they have stunted it. They put crazy music in it. They put entertainment in it. They put education in it. They put science in it. They put their politics in it to deafen the echo, right? So now the Father's echo, he's coming. That echo is just resounding. It's just resonating with us, and it's not with them. And they're going, why is that?
That ability to be still.
Right.
To be still in the mind, not necessarily in the body, but still in the mind, and being able to take that quiet so that you can hear the voice. There's a song that I have in my playlist. It's called Mayday by I think it's called Fat Rat is the guy that made it. And in the song, she says, "Can you hear my voice coming through the noise?" I always listen. I hear that song and I'm like, my God, like you should take a listen to that song there, Mayday by Fat Rat, and the echoes in those songs that they say, and the song came out, I think it was 2020 or 2019. But if you read some of the comments up underneath that song, man, it's like you could tell that song was resonating on a level. It's resonating on a level to what's happening right now. I really like to listen to music and even older stuff, and I'm like, my God, that really makes a lot more sense today than when I heard it years ago. Right, and I think
it's
that's
amazing,
another way. Yeah, and that's another way I think the Spirit talks to us is through these songs. Not everything, but through those songs. And you can hear certain messages to help you go through whatever you're going through your day, through your walk, to fortify your constitution in what you believe in the Heavenly Father, and just living that righteous code. You know what I mean? Living that 10 Commandments. That's what I'm looking forward to. Everybody being on the same chord, the same level.
Me too, man.
I mean, there might be different levels of understanding because there's going to be a tapestry of different teachers, and that's what's going to make it so nice, right? And our brothers and sisters are going to be masters at that. And we're going to be going to one for that, or I think about in the kingdom to come. We're not going to be sick because we'll be eating properly. We'll be eating the way we're supposed to eat. But imagine all the creations that our brothers and sisters are going to make in this new world, man. It's going to be crazy, man.
And you got to think of it like we've never been able to tell our story. We've never been able to speak. We never were able to read. And now that we can speak, we can tell our story, and we can read, now we are the masters. It only makes sense. We were the only people on the face of the earth that never had the opportunity. Now, when I say we, I mean every downtrodden indigenous people that the Khazarian, Germanic, Indo-European went around the world conquering. We're the only people that never had a voice. And now we have this voice and it's being heard, but the nations are not trying to hear it, although the nation's children are. And this is where it is gone completely off the rails for them and completely on the rails for us, because the things that we are saying is resonating with so many where the things that they're saying is not. And that's what is scaring them to death right now. That's the whole issue with them. They're like, these niggas are talking about something that we don't know nothing about. And then they go back and they go, well, why don't we know anything about it? Well, didn't you tell us not to let them know nothing? Didn't you tell us not to let them read? Well, then how do they know this? It's because they're the people. And now they're all perplexed. Now they're looking for Ish. And Ish is over there losing his mind, over there killing, murdering, for no good reason other than to distract from us speaking. It's simple. Like, this is not even a puzzle anymore.
You're right about the children, especially, and I think we talked about this at one time, was a lot of these children coming in right now, a lot of these kids are diagnosed with what they call autism. And you're saying to yourself, well, these kids are being diagnosed with autism, or I can't remember the other term, but they feel a lot more. They're more in tune with their feelings. They're more in tune with it's their feelings, and they try to shut that down right from as soon as they come out of the womb. They wanna inoculate them with all sorts of stuff, and you can see the kids that have been inoculated and numbed up. They don't feel nothing. They don't smile. They don't say nothing. They're just like bumps on a log. They don't move, right? But then you can see the other ones that have maybe not gotten all of their shots, and they're just vibrant, moving up and down and all around, and they feel more. They have more empathy. They have more feeling, and I see it with the kids, because I got small kids too, and I see them in the daycare, and I'm like, okay, so your mom gave you that. This one didn't get that, and it's these little guys here now in that category, like my kids' age. Hopefully they'll make it into the kingdom too. You know what I mean? I don't know how that's gonna look, but
well, I know the innocent. The innocent. Look, the innocent is not going to be on the hook, and that's the benefit of the world, the nation softening up the Generation Z, because they are innocent. They don't know any better. But your point is, what they know is what is right. They know that their fathers and their mothers and their grandparents and their great-grandparents and so forth and so on didn't know is how to treat people. That's what they didn't know. But these young kids, they know how to treat each other. You know, you don't see, like our age, the 70s, 80s, 90s. Those cats, we were shooting each other up. We hated each other. These cats, they love each other for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really. You don't hear one here and there. Yeah, they've got their rogues, their MK Ultra cats that are shooting up schools and stuff. But for the most part, these kids don't care about color or anything like that. They're more concerned with their video games and their friends and whatever else they're involved with. But they have an understanding of treating people the way they want to be treated. And that's why when Ish went all buck wild and chose to kill some people and then sit there and lie about it, these kids knew that. They're the ones that went on TikTok and start coming out going, I can't believe it, this. Mm-hmm. We didn't even have to do nothing. That's the joke. We didn't even have to do nothing.
No, they were already primed from the spiritual world to come in, and that was their MO.
Yeah.
They were already primed and ready to rock. Oh, I want to digress. You said something that hit me up, and I don't know why I just remembered that, but when I was listening to Spiritualite Pat there the other day, and she had mentioned that they had found oil and gas up underneath Gaza. I said, oh, wait a second. I heard that before. So I said, where did I hear that? And I heard that on the 700 Club. And I heard this like in the 90s. They had a box series. I don't know, back in the day I used to like to watch, what's that guy's name again? Jack and Benepi. You know Jack Benepi?
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Oh, my God. So I used to like to watch them, right, back in the day. And I got my grandma to buy me a bunch of their box sets back in the day. And anyways, I remember the guy coming on 700 Club, and I got my grandma to buy me the DVD and the book. And in the same DVD and the book, that's what they were talking about. Did you know there was $7 billion worth of oil up under Israel, and that's why the Arab nations want to go after them and wipe them off the face of the earth? And I'm like, so no, I'm thinking about it. You just reminded me about it, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that was the other way around. You all knew that was there for the longest time. You just didn't have the courage or didn't feel it was the right time to actually do what you're doing now. Or you didn't have that incentive, and the only reason why he didn't have that incentive is because America wasn't its blessing. And they're like, nah, just chill. It's all we got Saudi Arabia working with us. Y'all don't need to disturb that. Just stay there and be our little watchdogs to see if they're listening to their commands. And now they're like, oh shit, man, we running out of money, and we gotta start digging for that oil over there. So I don't know why it just popped in my mind, but yeah.
No, that's a good point. And my logic on that is the reason why all this stuff, they didn't do it then because they were prideful. They thought they had all the time in the world. They thought that, shoot, we'll have time to kill off all of Gaza and take the oil and nobody will care at all. And it backfired. They like they've had the last 7 years, they've had to put their plan in motion faster than they anticipated. And this is what you see. This is what we're seeing. Their plan not coming together because they didn't have time. They didn't have any time, and that's what the Father said. Listen, but for the elect's sake, I'm coming back. Otherwise, they would have to destroy everything. Like think of it like this. Maybe that's the mother lode of oil under there for all of that region. That's Northeast Africa. That area is that's prime land.
That's what the guy was saying. I clearly remember watching the DVD, and he got me hooked. And he said the crazy amount of barrels of oil that was up underneath there. And like I said, it just flashed in my mind. But I bought that. I got my grandma to buy me that set in the late 90s. And then I just buy me that, and I end up
doing it.
So it's funny now how it's coming back to fruition and giving confirmation for a lot of stuff. It's funny. He was talking the other day, and I was saying I watched a movie. It was a French-Canadian movie, and in the movie, it was about a Chinese gangster who needed a heart transplant, right? And he was trying to kill his nephew to get his heart, but the nephew got wise to the game and ended up leaving or putting a hit out on the father or the uncle, and he was in an underground what do you call it there, like hospital, and he said, "We need a heart," and he said, "Well, bring the surgeon that owes us all that money from the gambling debt." And the guy's like, "Okay, well, you got to save me or else I'm going to kill you." He's like, "Okay, well, we can't get anybody from China. I think it was Hong Kong or somewhere. Yeah, China, Hong Kong, something like that." And he's like, "Okay, but the next best thing that we can do is we can go up north here in Quebec and get one of the natives." And that always stuck out to me. That always stuck in my mind. So then now when we start talking about who's the true natives of America, and then that seal that was talked about, I think, 2 weeks ago you brought it out, or one of the brothers brought out the seal of America.
Yeah. Big Judah did.
Okay, Big Judah. And them natives in that movie, they went to a small place called Itty-Bitty, and they went on the reserve and they kidnapped one of the so-called native guys, and then try to give the Chinese gangster his heart. And they said he was the closest match.
Yep.
I said, "Well, shit, look at that. Look at that. That movie flipped the script, and that must have went over a lot of people's head, but for whatever reason, that's the only part of the movie I can remember. I can't remember nothing else off the movie.
That's right.
That part.
That's right.
And that was confirmation for me in my own, and I'm pretty sure brothers and sisters out there have something very similar happening to them, because a lot of stuff in our past have set us up for right now. Right now. So
for right now.
Even though it might have been hard, the the Most High didn't bring us this far to leave us.
Nope.
Right?
We just have to continue to endure till the end.
That's it.
Reverend,
I believe a lot of us.
It is time. It is time. They're about to boot us off. This has been great.
Okay, well, yeah, man. I just want to let everybody know I love you guys. Just keep it, hang in there, man. Tell the strangers that you love them. That's gonna be your saving grace out here. Put more
Indeed.
oil in your cup, man, and you're gonna need it. Just go into yourself, like Christ said. You're gonna do bigger and better works than I have ever done, and that's by going into yourself, cleaning up yourself. Keep studying, keep going as hard as you can, because we ain't got that much time left. Literally, we really don't have the big. The New Year is right around the corner. Right around the corner. And imagine what's gonna happen. Well, we already know what's gonna happen, but endure to the end. All praises,
son. All praises. That is a very good word. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I want to give all praises be to the Heavenly Father and to the earthly Mother for bringing us together. And I don't feel as lonely anymore. This is what I'm loving about what's happening right now, because we all connect. And it's helped me a lot.
Yep, it's helped me too. It's been amazing, and it still is amazing. Every day I'm learning and seeing different things. But brother, we'll finish this another day. Maybe tomorrow we'll call each other and finish up our convo. But it's been awesome. We'll do this again for show. This has been
lovely.
Nothing but love, brother. Nothing but love. It's awesome. So all family, right. This is Brother L out of Canada doing his thing, and Brother Morial doing our thing tonight. Hope this was edifying, and we give all praises and all thanks to our Father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we bid everyone shalom. Give him a shalom, Brother L. Shalom.
Peace.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.